How convinced are you to want change in your life? Today and in this video, we're talking about change through desire. Because when you are looking to change something in your life, do you really desire that change? Are you really looking to do whatever it takes to make that change possible? Because when you attack particular changes in your life, depending if you feel that you truly want that change in your life, you will come at it with a completely different tool set than you would if change was introduced into your life. If change is introduced in your life, you typically fight these changes. You typically play a victim with these changes. You won't enjoy these changes. Now, when you look at the other spectrum and you are looking at a particular change in your life that you desire, you want the change for whatever reason, you are driven to make that change. Trying to make that change, you'll run across failures. And in making that change, if you desire that change, those problems will be just small hurdles on you trying to get to where you want to go. Where on the other side, if change is introduced and it's not something you desire, it's just more of a state of depression you get in. You don't like the change that's occurring. It's not the change that you want. So if you can look at the change that you want in a more desirable aspect, you are more driven, you are more motivated when you desire, you want that change. This is why I talk about it's always good to introduce the change that you want into your life. You'll get to both sides of it. You get the change that you want and you get the change that you don't want. I want you to actually look at the changes that come into your life that you don't want. I want you to analyze those changes that you don't want. How do you feel? Do you feel depressed? Do you have anxiety? Do you feel stressed out because of these changes that are happening in your life? You don't really want these changes. Now, if you desire to change, look at the way you look at the desire to make that change. What is that change you're trying to achieve? Maybe it is losing weight. Maybe you want to look good and feel good. At that point in your life, you'll do whatever it takes. And I'm not talking about just doing a crash diet. Lasting habits that will allow you to make that change. And that takes dedication. And if you don't desire it, you're not going to have that dedication. So anything that you come into in your life that you want to make change, you have to make sure that you really truly desire that change. You have to believe 110% that is the change that you want. A lot of times we come into different change. We want to make changes in our finances or our health or possibly even our job, our career, whatever the case is. We don't truly desire it. We'd like it for it to happen, but with minimal effort. We don't really truly desire it. We hope, we wish. That's different from desiring to want to make that change. When you desire, when you no longer will tolerate your current situation, you desire for a better situation. So you'll do what it takes to make the change. And a lot of times, it is a very tough journey depending where you're at. But if your desire is greater than that change, it will happen. Where if you just half desire it or it's change that's introduced, you don't desire that change. You'll just wish it away. And so when talking about this and talking about desire, you know, a lot of the different changes I've made, they were very extremely desirable changes that I wanted to have in my life. I didn't want to wake up in pain. I didn't want to wake up feeling like garbage every day. I didn't want to work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I didn't want to dedicate essentially my life, almost every waking hour of every week, to a job. I didn't want that. I desired more. And sometimes when you desire these things, you have to understand that, again, your desire has to be greater because there will be bigger obstacles in the way. Those same obstacles are there whether that change is introduced as well. But again, you'll have a different tool set. And so you look at it differently. And you're easy to not take any action when that change is introduced in your life. But when it's change you want, when it's change you truly desire, you find ways to get there. You read more, you obtain more knowledge, you get more perspective to make that change because you're unwilling to deal with the current state. And your desire for that destination or whatever that thing is far greater. Everything that I've never fully desired hasn't come into my life. Those things that I truly desired are those things that came and they stuck. I feel knowing this, getting the perspective and understanding what it takes, because I always talk and think about, well, how can someone make a change? I know for myself, it was hard to make changes. Changes are painful. But then if you come at it with a perspective, well, is it something I truly desire? Is it something I kind of want in my life? I'm not really sure if I want it or not. Not being precise about what exactly it is you want, you're not really gonna have that desire. That's why you gotta experience things. That's why you gotta get new perspective. Understand that yes, things come with pros and cons. But if you desire something, right, you want more from what it is. It's not saying you can't change it. You get to a point to where you do enjoy it, you've achieved it, maybe you desire something else. You're constantly changing, and that's okay. But realize that if there's a change that you want, it has to be desirable. And if nothing feels like it's desirable, maybe there's just some other way you can approach it. Maybe you're trying to get healthy. Maybe you can start getting into bike riding or rock climbing or karate or something like that you do enjoy. Then the desire will grow, the motivation and all these things that we seek through books and knowledge. Although motivation is very hard to find if you're not following your curiosity and finding the desire to keep moving on. Desire just doesn't fall out of the sky. Desire is something that you come across that spikes your interest through curiosity. Then you find a desire to want to change something, or perhaps a bad event in your life happens. Perhaps it's a bad relationship. Perhaps it's the loss of a job. Perhaps, it's the death of a family member, whatever the case is. It can get something to ignite the desire to want to make change. That you get tired of the current state that you're in. You get tired of coming home and not being happy. It sparks a desire. It is up to you to take action on the desire and come at it with a better tool set than coming at it with the thought and the idea and the hope that things will just get better because they once were better. But things change in time. Desire, right? It's like motivation. Sometimes you have more motivation than other times. Sometimes you have more desire than other times. Because there are specific changes you want more in your life. Finding the priority on those desires and taking the action towards it. So remember that it is your desire that's going to get you the things that you want.